People often ask me, what is the real secret or harmony and peace in embracing a different dynamic? But here's the twist. This has led to some pretty interesting arguments that equaled growth. This isn't just about marriage. It's part of your glow up, building that strong relationship, growing together. All those things are things we aim for at 40, after 40. So today I'm sharing the keys that have helped us navigate these 23 years of love and challenges with the teamwork. But I have to tell you, here's a kicker, right? My man, my husband, my love, my joy, he's always right. And I do not tell him that. So you're hearing this first. And that's when I decided to trust him and to follow his lead. Because again, he's right. So this support that we have, this foundation of our marriage is just like no other. I mean, we were actually friends before we were anything else. We talked on the phone. We Have you heard of people meeting over the phone and building a 30-year friendship, let alone 23 years of marriage? I mean, that's just unheard of, right? And I did this for months with him. We talked on the phone for months. We didn't see each other in person until March of 1995. Okay. So the first date was the movies where he fell asleep. He was snoring so loud, people started leaving out of the theater. But all that to say is that we've been told, or you heard the cliche that if you get past the first 5 years, then you've made it. You'll be lasting forever. I want you to know that is utter bullcrap, because I know people 20, 25 years in and they're getting divorced. So today I found it be like epic for us to break down why marriages fail and try to help you keep it locked in if you're really willing to put in the work. So the first thing is people actually lack communication and they lose respect for their significant other, their spouse, whoever. There was a time when my husband and I were truly not talking. Okay. We'd argue about finances, and I thought that I was being clear, right? But he didn't hear me that way. And then a few weeks later, we were still upset over that same issue, but neither of us were saying it out loud. At the same time, we stopped appreciating each other. He'd do something thoughtful and I would barely notice. I handle something at home and he moved on without even acknowledging it. Like, what? Are you okay, sir? I remember thinking, why am I even trying if it doesn't seem to matter to him? Now, let me tell you about the problem here. Communication breakdowns like that, when the appreciation starts to fade or the misunderstandings and resentments start to grow, little by little, those cracks that weaken your foundation. I'm talking about weakening the foundation of your marriage, make you feel disconnected, and they often make you feel undervalued. But we fix this by committing, and I'm talking about this was hard. We had to commit to being open with our communication and our daily appreciation of each other. And we also found out that we can't go to bed mad. You can't go to bed mad and angry because it doesn't make sense. So we talk about everything now, and I do mean everything. When I said earlier, oh, he doesn't know, I feel like he's always right. He knows. even the uncomfortable stuff you have to communicate about, because it clears the air and it keeps that resentment from building up. And then when you make it a point to say thank you to your significant other, your spouse, whatever, those small things, mm, those small things is priceless. These are two habits that strengthened our connection in ways I didn't even think were possible. So the second thing that happens is people often drift apart, right? Their ego takes over the teamwork aspect. After our second child was born, life got super duper busy. I'm talking about work, parenting, and just the usual everyday chaos took over our lives. I remember sitting on the couch. I was scrolling on my cell phone. They were still kind of new back then, while I watched television. We weren't fighting, but we weren't connecting and vibing like I was accustomed to. I thought this was our marriage. Like, I thought, like, wow, is this what our marriage has become? Like, is this what's happening? But at the same time, my need to control everything just doesn't help anything, right? And I remember arguing over planning vacation. Like, vacations are supposed to be cool. We're supposed to have kikis and haha moments and hang out on the beach and do massages on the beach. Our favorite thing to do. Like, I thought, why don't you just let me handle this? I can handle it, babe. I got you. But my attitude made him feel like his opinion didn't matter. And I wasn't thinking of him. I wasn't. I was just thinking about winning this vacation that I so needed at that time, at that moment. But the problem is when couples drift apart or prioritize their ego over the teamwork aspect, they lose that partnership that holds their marriage together on solid foundation. So over time, it feels like you're just living separate lives or you're constantly battling to win rather than to grow together. So we started prioritizing quality time, even if it was just sitting together after the kids went to bed and talking, which happened to be our favorite thing of all times. I ask him now quite often, do you hear that? And he looks at me and he's like, what? What am I? And I'm like, you don't hear that? And then he smiles because then he remembers, yes, it's silent, just how we like it. It's small moments like that that rebuilds our connection every single time. And I've learned to let go of my ego and trust his instincts. I totally do. Teamwork is not about being right. And I say he's right all the time, but that's not the core of the message. It's about leaning on each other's strengths. He has a strength that's just untouchable. And, it took me a while to get used to it, but I love that now that, when he makes a decision, we're actually making it together because he's taught me things that I had no clue. And that's part of a relationship. That's what actually brought us closer than ever. So, number three, fear of change. When my husband wanted to buy that apartment building, I immediately said no. I was scared. I was scared. I am not the risky type of person. I tell you guys this all the time. I was scared of failing. I was scared of change. I was just scared because, hey, none of my other friends was buying apartment buildings. And then I had to realize that the fear wasn't just holding me back, it was holding us back as a collective. I wasn't rejecting the idea. I was rejecting our chance at growth because, again, I live in this square, right? So the fear of change can paralyze a marriage. Oh my goodness, it can. It could leave your partner feeling stuck while the other feels unsupported, which in turn creates what? It creates all types of frustration and distance that you just don't want to have in a marriage. So when I finally trusted my husband and I decided I'm taking this leap of faith, I know what this means for us, it all paid off. That decision not only helped us financially, but also showed me the power of growth through partnership. See, supporting each other through those big decisions brought us closer. And now I remind myself that growth requires stepping into what? The unknown. It provides us with stepping into the unknown because you never know what can happen until you take the first step. And we did that together. So now that you know why marriages fail, let's get into the keys to locking this down. You know, locking your love down is like the best feeling in the world. And I'm not saying or trying to jinx anything, but it's the best feeling in the world. Trust your partner's strengths. Whether it's a big financial decision or something small, trust, trust, trust. Trust your partner's instincts because it will build that strong bond. Commit to communication. This was a hard one for me. And it's a work in progress every day, guys. I cannot lie. It's a work in progress every day. So you're going to talk openly and honestly about everything, no matter how hard or difficult it is to talk about. The more you communicate, the fewer misunderstandings you will have. Trust. The fewer misunderstandings you will have. Now, next, you're going to embrace individual growth. Marriage isn't about losing yourself, it's about supporting each other and growing together. See, all the things I used to like to do back in the 90s, I may not like doing every single one of them now, but I can do that. And we can do it together, after all. This is my favorite key here. Keep that spark alive. Small gestures, like maybe a surprise. Ooh, I don't like surprises, but maybe you do. Or maybe a distraction free conversation, like take those phones, throw them in a drawer. That works. Things like that will go a long way in keeping that connection alive. You don't want to lose that spark at no time. Then, this is a key that most people might not like. When I say fight for the marriage, and I'm not talking about to win, I'm talking about fight for the marriage. That doesn't mean physically fight. That doesn't mean like mentally attack or anything like that. Arguments are not about proving who's right. They're actually about finding solutions for you to move forward as a team. I know that's different, but that's a new approach. It's a fresh approach. Focus on your why. This is another great key. When things get tough, and they will get tough, remember why you chose each other in the first place. See, I got to know him as a friend first. So for us, it's the love and support that we built over these decades. I didn't get to look at shoes or smile or weight or any of those things prior. I only knew a voice of concern and consistency. Now, this is important for you guys to remember that Miss T does not have all the answers. But here's what I've learned after 23 years of marriage. It's not about perfection. I will tell you that for any instance that we talk or discuss in our conversations. It's about your intention. Let family and friends into your arguments can create unnecessary tension. But when you keep your relationship protected, you build a foundation of trust and respect. Combine that with communication, individual growth, and teamwork, and you got your keys for locking this down, baby. As we always say here on Who's Tea TV, whose tea is it really? Today, the tea is yours. So protect it, cherish it, and let it fuel your glow up journey. Now it's your turn, my friends. What's one lesson that you've learned about your relationship? Go. Drop it in the comments because I'd love to hear your tea. And if you're ready to glow up in every area of your life, please do not forget to watch How to Discover Your Amazing Self After 40. Glow up, that is, next. In that video, I'll share how self improvement and confidence can transform not just your life, but your relationships too. So, if you thought today's keys were helpful, that next video will take your glow up even further. Click now and let's keep building together. And I will see you in the next video.